All right. So welcome to Master Martial Arts and Mr. Danko. Mrs. Danko, you know, every time that I drive to New Hampshire, by the way, there's a dentist office over there called, is that related to you?
No.
Oh, because it's such an interesting last name that you don't, can I ask what nationality that is?
I believe it's Slovakian.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I drive by it all the time and I think about you guys. We go up that direction to head to New Hampshire. All right, so we wanted to have a conversation today about mastery and about how it's either helped or not helped your family. I'm not sure, but I'll let you decide that. I don't want to assume either way. But Mr. Danko, if you could tell us, how old are you and when did you begin your martial arts training?
I am 12 right now, and I began when I was about 4 years old.
4? Good. So why 4, Mom? I mean, what was it at 4 that you saw a reason to put him in martial arts?
Yeah, so he had a lot of energy, as most little boys do. He also had a sensory processing issue, and so putting him in other sports didn't work out so well. He had spatial recognition issues and proprioception type of issues. So when he would play soccer or organized sports like basketball, they tended to be a little bit more of a challenge for him. And so we thought putting him in something individualized where he was doing it for himself, but as part of a team, still would give him that type of experience, and really kind of focus on him while he was in class.
So it took 8 years for that to happen?
No. Luckily for us, I would say probably the first year, we didn't even think we were going to make it because he refused to stay on the floor. He would cry on the floor. He was very, very shy. He didn't like being at the front of the classroom because of the sound coming at him. But his instructors worked really, really well to create a space at the back of the room for him where he was getting less emotional, less stimulation, like noise stimulation, and just worked with him and gradually moved him to the front of the class. I would say it probably took you about a year.
Yeah.
So, and here we are 8 years later, right? So I'm assuming that mission is accomplished. Those things are no longer a problem.
Well, he's still a boy and he's still very energetic. So this is a place where he can get an intense physical workout, get some of his energy out. And we like the fact that he's made a lot of friends there. So it's a social time too.
Yeah, agree with that. Great. So what's your favorite part of the training besides the physical part? What do you love about mastery so much?
I like how they just don't teach you how to defend yourself, how to do more things, give you more confidence, believe in yourself, discipline, structure, all those other aspects that make mastery instead of just another martial arts academy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the triangulation that we teach in leadership is a 5-minute exercise that has changed the lives of thousands of kids. And the first kids that it changed was your instructor, because we're all part of the process. Our Mr. Bazil, Mr. West, Mr. Russo, Mrs. Force, and Mr. Michael Bazillo. They're my original 5 from 20 years ago. But they practiced, we designed the methodology of triangulation on them. And I thought, martial arts is great, but how do we construct it in a way that's going to really build social confidence? Because to be an instructor, you have to be a great communicator. But really, even as an adult, the better you are as a communicator, the more fulfilled you are. You can connect with more people. Clearly, you can have a better job opportunity. Shy people really struggle in a world if they have to deal with people. And now with this pandemic here, we recognize how important people are, right? We need people. And so anyhow, I agree with all that and the way that we teach the life skills. But on a martial level, what's your favorite part of the martial arts?
I really like forms.
Okay, good. Are you on the demo team?
No.
Something you like to do?
I don't know.
Not sure? Have you watched some of their videos?
I've watched them perform live, but I haven't ever watched any of their videos.
Okay, there's a bunch of them on YouTube. Just check them out sometime. So it's just another extension. So, our life skill of communication, I see that on your shirt, it says belief, which, it's important to us. I made a post this morning that said, it's great to teach a child to believe in something. It's better to teach them to believe in themselves, right? And so the communication is another one of our life skills. And demo team, when they perform and throw a punch or block really strong, that's a form of nonverbal communication. What they're saying to the world is, look at me, look how I feel strong. And they're not only thinking it, but they're demonstrating it. And to me, that marriage between the life skill and the physical martial arts to us is what separates mastery as far as that goes. So Mom, tell me what your favorite part of mastery is.
To be perfectly honest, my favorite part of mastery are all the parents. Um, we've built a family at the Cumberland Academy, essentially, and it's probably the thing that I've missed the most being in the pandemic, is just the interaction I have with the parents on a daily basis. I mean, we still continue that offline. We still continue that with Zoom social types of activities, but we can't wait to get back, because sitting there watching our children, cheering on the children, it's almost like as if every student in the academy is mine and I'm rooting for their success, you know, and we're there to comfort them during their failures, because we've been through a number of them. So we know what it's like, you know, but building that relationship with Miss Rossi and the parents has been probably the most gratifying thing that I can imagine.
So the original mastery family that was formed was the Basillos, the Russos, Mr. West. They're all, those parents are all best friends because of mastery. Mm-hmm. And they all, you know, they throw more parties every weekend. That is crazy. And then, of course, they all became best friends. And so some of the friends that you're making at mastery will probably continue to be friends with you for a long time. Yep. Which is pretty. And that's probably that's, to me, it's probably a product of, there are many things that we can select for our children to do, right? I have my 4-year-old right here, and we're very selective in where we want her to be and what we want her to be around and what we want her to see. And then when we want her to see it. And probably because of it takes extra time, energy, and effort, there's a lot of parents that are like you at mastery, which is part of the reason why you probably gel so well together. And we all love kids, right? We want to see kids do well, because parents are happy when their kids are happy, and their parents are happy when their kids are doing well. So, well, I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about today, because my ultimate goal is, like I said, to write this book. And I think it would be amazing to capture your story, and then put it, I think about like Chicken Soup for Soul. You guys read that book? It's a terrific book. And the author basically just took everybody's best perspective and everybody got to contribute to the book. And for me, ultimately, it's, how can I share more stories with more people outside of mastery for them to consider the idea that martial arts might be right for their child? And hearing from different parents and different perspectives, I think will kind of help that a little bit and move that in that direction. So do you want to say anything else, Mr. Danko, about your training and about why you think more kids should do mastery?
I think more people like me people who are shy, full of energy, have trouble expressing themselves at an early age, should take mastery, because like it really helps you build your confidence, make new friends. I've become a ton less shy. I'm like, if I see somebody, I'm like, hey, what's your name? I'm not shy anymore. It's helped me a lot with a bunch of social interactions, how I feel around other people, and just like stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, I was similar to you growing up. It's probably the reason why I built the methodology of leadership triangulation the way that I built it, because I wanted people to have the experience of practicing public speaking before they needed it. And I was in junior high school. I had to do my first impromptu speech. Didn't know anything really about standing in front of anybody, and had never had to do it before. I remember getting through the experience, and it was a good experience. Zoe. And but then I was thinking, geez, it would be great if we could give young kids in our school a chance to have that experience in a martial arts school where they were coached, where they weren't graded, where they had the chance to express themselves over and over again. And that methodology really has helped a lot of people. And we're happy about that, because to me, I think that's more valuable than a sidekick is. I think it's more valuable than a punch. I think it's more valuable than breaking a board. Even though those things are a lot of fun and make our body strong, everything begins with the mind, you know, as far as that goes. And right now I have a new partner. His name is Ofer Breyer. He's from Israel. And Mr. Breyer has put together a new way or a methodology of training the mind, especially in kids, and helping them really think, create, and innovate. And so we're excited to be installing this into the way we teach martial arts, which is going to, again, change everything, especially the way we do it. It's very powerful. So, Mrs. Danko, do you want to say anything else about mastery? Or if you were going to talk directly to other parents, I'm sure that you do, and I'm sure that they ask you, how do you say, what would you say to them?
Or I provide it unsolicited. It was interesting having Colin go through the journey. Like I had mentioned before, we didn't know that this was going to be the place that he really blossomed. The first year was tough. It was a struggle. But seeing him evolve in class, seeing him evolve in school, as he continued to rank up, and he joined leadership and got more confidence or became more confident in himself. You can tell he has a bit of a speech stutter, and he would not want to talk in public. And sometimes that would affect him in school. But as he graduated from grade to grade, and we would have our parent teacher conferences, we would hear lots of, interesting feedback on him and how he's grown and how he's matured and what makes Colin different and why is he different. And I attribute that a lot to the success at Mastery, our parenting style, of course, but Mastery really helped with that, helped him pull him out of his shell, forced him to get on the floor, the triangulation you speak about, the leadership. And teachers would stop us and ask us, what is he doing? How have we seen him grow? Why is he the way he is? And I would say probably the testament we had last year was he's in middle school. Middle school can be really challenging, right? There can be a lot of drama with middle school. He's found no drama. He makes friends relatively easily. And every teacher conference, the teachers were like, he is respectful, he is inclusive, he communicates really, really well. He's one of the first to volunteer and share his feedback. He's kind, he's compassionate, all these words that you hear at Mastery over and over again. He's exemplifying those skills and like really leading by example at school, whether he knows it or not. And I think last year, like I said, 7th grade year can be a challenging year. But hearing all those amazing things from a parent-teacher conference, made me super proud and left beaming thinking, wow, I've got like a little rock star of a guy.
Well, we're here to support you, right? I mean, we want to see our students be prepared for life. To me, I see many parents that we've taught and worked with over the years. We call it active parenting, right? When you're involved and you're encouraging, supporting, clapping. I see some kids go off to college where their parents are still doing everything for them. And I wonder, wow, that's going to be a tough transition for a child to go from living at home, mom doing everything for you, to.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so my daughter over here, I mean, since she's been 2.5, picks out her clothes every day. Mm-hmm. And we support that. Yep. We want her to do things. I always say to her, Zoe, I'll help you, but I won't do it for you.
Right.
And the sooner we can, to your point, get them more independent, give them more responsibility, some accountability, some maturity, it's really just going to benefit them as life, moves forward. So,
I mean, and I think the failures that he's had, it hasn't come easy. This whole martial arts journey, he's not natural at it. He has had to work for everything. There were times I would sit in the back room and cry, just watching him struggle. There were times he'd come off the mat crying because he was struggling. And so it wasn't a natural journey for him, but he never gave up, and how many testings did you, Orange Stripe testings did you fail? Too many, right. But you know what? And as hard as it is for a parent to sit back and watch their child fail, you have to. You have to allow them to go through that emotional experience so they can know how to deal with it. We supported him, of course, and we were there for him to lean on. But to your point, you can't do it for them. And he's either going to go out there and he's going to do it or he's not. And he has to figure out how to handle the emotion of whatever that outcome is, because that's what life throws at you.
Right.
And so building that strong emotional base where he can come off the floor and say, okay, yep, you know what? I didn't pass that one. I know why I did it. I'm going to ask for feedback and then I'm going to go try again. It's probably been one of the most important things. I mean, you just never give up.
And Mom, it takes a lot of maturity on your behalf and a lot of selflessness to come to that conclusion, because we've had a lot of students over the year fail belt tests and the parent get upset with us. Mm-hmm. Because they're feeling their child's pain and they're trying to take the pain away by having that, instead of realizing that, and this is why we've been teaching this concept, is that failure is your friend. And what can I learn from this that can make me better? And how does it help me going forward? I mean, when I see a child who can learn from a failure and not make it their identity, wow, powerful. But often than not, what happens, adults, when they never learn to deal with failure, right? Because we give a trophy to everybody nowadays, that they grow up to become the adult that for the first time have to face failure, and sometimes it doesn't go well. So all of these things need practice. It's a human experience. This is what we're going through.
Yeah, it's easy to want to quit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And even during this pandemic, right? We had a lot of parents say, well, the video learning isn't going great. And I would kindly remind them that the new world we live in is going to be more of this. So when would you like your child to get better at this?
Hmm.
Quitting is not the answer.
Yep.
Quitting is not the answer. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Here's what I tell my instructors all the time. Those of us, and I mean us, you and I included, me included, my life is completely different because of martial arts. The people that the martial arts has helped the most are the ones that become the best teachers of it, because we have a lot of compassion and a lot of conviction and a lot of certainty that if it helped us, we know that it can help other people as well. And so you're in a good group of people, sir, because all of our instructors, their life is altered because of it. And because of that, they feel very passionate about sharing it. So kudos to you. And these challenges are just going to get bigger, by the way, as your life gets older, right? Now it's, well, we ran out of the cereal I like and I have a meltdown. And then later on, it's something else. But our skill gets better as we handle it. And so the gap of how upset we are to what it is becomes more relative and easier for us to handle. So kudos to you, and kudos to mom and dad for supporting you and through this journey. And as difficult as it is, because I can understand that, Mrs. Danko. My daughter started skiing 2 years ago. She's 4. And the first time I watched her fall, because I did it, by the way, it was a terrible feeling. I had her on a leash because we're skiing down the hill and I'm on a snowboard, and we ran out of space and I ripped her off because the rope ran out. And she just looked at me all upset, like I just, it hurt her. And I felt terrible. So, if the thing at Mastery is that we understand that the connection, obviously, in the family is what our goal is. That's why we let parents put the stripes on the belts. That's why we encourage parents to come on the floor and train. That's why we let the parents come out and tie the belt. Even if you don't do it correctly, we don't care. We want that memory to be created at Mastery between the family and enjoy that. So, well, I appreciate the two of you coming on today and sharing your thoughts about what we're doing. And congratulations to your success, both of your success.
Thank you.
We're happy to be a part of this journey, and we appreciate the people who appreciate what Mastery is doing and the commitment that our instructors have to it and themselves, and as we continue to grow.
Yep. And he looks forward to testing for his next belt rank, and I think he's working towards his red collar right now.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations, sir. If you need anything, don't be afraid to send me a message anytime. I'd be happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.